Hello, welcome to the Late Night Lounge here on Latte Firm. It is Friday, the 23rd of January, and I've just raced home from a lovely dinner in Wanstead with my wife and some friends so I could be here in time with you. Beautiful lot. Welcome to the show. Hope you've had a great week. Hope you're staying warm. Hope you're in good health and hope you're enjoying the season that is with us at the moment. It is Manchester United at the weekend who come to the Emirates for the big Super Sunday. Time for an old rivalry to be reignited at the Emirates Stadium. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to look back at the San Siro very briefly with the chaps. Football financials have been released. Arsenal are top of the Revenue League. We're going to talk about all of that and how that sort of bodes for us this summer. We'll talk about our attacking options, why we're not scoring enough goals in the final third or from many of our forwards. And we'll look ahead to the big game on the weekend. Let's go straight to the chat. Jonathan was here first saying, Incapie and Calafiori in training today. Come on, you Gunners. Full strength team. Everyone fit bar Max Dowman. Manchester United, you're not ready. When was the last time our squad was so stacked and so available? Welcome to the show, Jonathan. Saka is God says he's so pumped for tonight. Thank you so much. Warm welcome to all of our channel members, Patreon members. It's good to have you here and thanks for joining. And if you're not one of those, it's also great to have you here. So get involved in the chat. V Vlad says, good evening all. Happy belated to Wayne. Big weekend for us. Beating United always hits different. Great that Calafiori is back. Come on, you Gunners. Saka is God is just replying back to V Vlad saying, full squad in training makes me feel like I'm flying. Doesn't it all for all of us? Paul James, welcome. Good evening. I seem to be saying this a lot, but it could be another big week in our march towards the Premier League title. We are 13 wins away. Some of you have already started doing the mental arithmetic. Jizzle McDizzle. Evening, Gooners. What a sensational win at the San Siro. Love the alliteration there, my friend. Almost unfair that we have to wait until Sunday to see the boys again. We cannot afford to keep stuttering. We need a win. Don't care how. Just win. It's a big game on Sunday. Really, really big game. The biggest of names and for the biggest of games. Let's bring him in. Yembele, welcome to the show. How are you, big brother?
I'm okay, mate. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I tell you what, I am buzzing. I have raced home from Wanstead, pulled up on the driveway, fucked the parents out because they're looking after the little ones, and here I am online with you beautiful lot. Have you had a good week?
Hello to Auntie for me. Say hello to Auntie for me. Give my apologies for fucking the kids on you. You know, obviously they're expecting
honestly,
that one.
It's been a whirlwind of an evening. How are you? How's your week been?
Yeah, busy, mate. Just enjoyed the football this week. It was really good football, actually. Obviously with our game, the Man City game, enjoyed that immensely.
Yes. Oh yes.
Wednesday was not so much. I thought that was a pretty dire slate of games, but yeah, it's been good, mate. How about you?
It's been good, man. I've had a really productive week at work. I feel like I've got January blues out of me. I'm enjoying all the football. Looking forward to Sunday. Massive, massive game that awaits. As Dave says, such a big game on Sunday. Feels like we need to win regardless of City or Villa's results. But no, I'm good. And listen, on a personal note, it's your last week of freedom, right? You got a new job starting next week. You excited?
Yeah. It's going back into the office now for first time in a while. So yeah, wish me luck, everyone.
Yeah, first time in a while, ladies and gents, boys and girls. This guy has been working from home for the best part of 25 years. He's finally got to take London transport. Do you even remember what the underground looks like, bruv?
What is that?
Right, a guy with a view, Paul James, says we've got to go into Sunday's game and take control. If we do that, we win. K. Well says, all right, perverts, let's get it. Right on, brother. Karen is here, says, hello, hope everyone is well. Karen, thank you for joining us. Hope you've had a fantastic week. The energy is great. Raphael catching off. Vamos, he shouts in the background. Joel's here. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and others. I think he meant to say Yembele. Saka is God says, can I make my latte firm more like late firm joke again? Okay, good. Yeah, you can do that all the time, my friend. I was racing across London to try and get here in time, but I just couldn't quite do it. Joel has thrown me with a snack check, and I'm going to star that for later. Les Fogging Go says, Ash, that is an absolutely elite kit, FK. Thank you for that. First shirt that I could find in my pile that's been sort of clean and ready for these shows. Right, let's bring in our other bandit. He's had a fresh trim. He's looking good. It is, of course, Wayne Bele. How are you, my man?
I am shattered. It's been a long week.
Why has it been so long? Talk to Unks.
Obviously, I had my birthday at the start of the week on Tuesday. What day was I don't even remember what day it was. Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. That's what happens when you reach the big 60, man. The memory goes, the body stops working, the head doesn't look right, feel right.
But no, this week at work we had our recognition award ceremony for like employees. So 3 lucky finalists in 9 different categories get invited to like an afternoon out with a +1. And as part of our communications team, we alongside like HR put it all on. So we do all of the organizing, all of the logistics on the day. So we are kind of also the event managers on the day, and I was in charge of like the videoing and the photography and stuff like that. And it was just, events are stressful. Anyone that works in events, anyone that does events, plans events, does events management, my hat goes off to you, because yeah, it is a very stressful job.
It's pure stress. But otherwise, you're in good health, my man, and you're looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, well, looking forward is probably a stretch. I always dislike playing against Man United, regardless of when it is, where it is, who it's against, or who we've got. But massive rivalry, massive implications for the title race. But I think this is one of those games where it's bigger than just the title race and the context of the league. It's a big game because it's Arsenal versus Man United.
Well, many will argue it's just about the 3 points, but I'm with you, Wayne. There is a rivalry ready to be reignited. The hatred of the years, Ferguson versus Wenger, United versus Arsenal, the Invincibles, all the batterings that we've taken at Old Trafford. This weekend is the weekend that they get it. Ash says, "Evening, chaps. Can't wait to go to the game on Sunday. Getting a bit nervous now. Wow, 48 hours before the game, he is getting nervous." Henke Hose here says, "Hi, my name is Yemba Jemba." Don't start all that again, please. Hello, everyone. Welcome to all of you in the chat. Keep that chat active. We will come to you as many times as we can throughout tonight's show. And like I said, a very warm welcome to all of our channel members and Patreon members. Right, let's rip the plaster off. Let's go straight into snack check because Yembele's sipping on his water. Wayne, what you got for us today? And chat, let me know, what are you snacking on this delicious Friday, January evening?
I've saved a little bit of the end of my dinner. It's payday, so we always kind of have a takeaway on payday. This time we've gone for some sort of Thai Japanese food, so I've got some chicken gyozas with some sweet chili dip alongside it.
Chili.
So, okay. Yeah, a nice sweet chili dip. So I've got 4. I had 1 while I was waiting. I've got 4 left.
Yeah, sorry for being late, but yeah, chicken gyoza, you cannot beat that. Danny says he's going for Mazapan. Have I pronounced that right? I think so. Matt says hello. Says snack check tonight. Currently eating Kit Kat cereal.
Yeah,
Kit Kat cereal. It's banging. He says, "What?" That has thrown me. Kit Kat cereal. I've never even. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Mr. Clock says good evening. King Wayne says Joel. Don't know why the royalty. Must be Mrs. Wayne in the background sending in all the messages. Melissa's here. Welcome to Melissa, another Patreon member. Thank you so much for your very generous support to the channel. Joel says, I hope you had a good birthday, big man. He did have a very good birthday. He can barely remember it because of the old age, but he definitely did. Right, Yembele, what you got for us?
Nothing too complicated. I have just come out from a night out as well. I went for a kebab roll, a double kebab roll, and you know how I roll when it's kebab rolls, my friend. We also got a whole chicken as well, whole tandoori chicken.
Oh, whoa. Where'd you go?
A1, mate. A1
kebabs, mate. That is old school. I like it.
Mate, honestly.
What you got? What's left over?
So I just got a mini roll. Found these.
Okay. Plain chocolate.
Plain
with
chocolate.
Cream in it.
No, the usual, just mini roll, mate. It's nothing special.
You tuck into that, sunshine. Tudor Madeline says snack of the night is Roshan's dark chocolate bubble. It's then Milkers. Come on, you Gunners, on Sunday. Cash Money says rice with peri peri chicken. That sounds like a very, very good meal. AFC1238 says FK, I've got some chocolate coconut wafers from Costco. Absolutely elite if you've got a Costco card. I don't like chocolate with coconut. Bounties in this household belong in the bin. But Wayne is going to go at me for that. I know he is. He loves bounties.
No.
Oh, do you hate bounties?
Yeah, I can't stand them.
Oh,
it was Colleen and Yem. That was them two.
Yeah. Honestly. Manny says Snapchat tonight is a cup of tea, chocolate chip muffin bar. I like it. Anthony says just a good old cup of tea with rich tea biscuits. Anthony, I've got to say, I love the brew, but rich tea is the worst biscuit of the lot. I don't know how anyone enjoys a rich tea biscuit. That's all my wife eats because it's like low sugar, low calories, low fat, low taste. I know my wife's watching.
No taste. There's
no
nothing there.
taste. Jonathan says, yes, big up, guys. Happy Friday. Smash the likes. Dave says he's having apple crumble flavored hot cross buns toasted with butter. That sounds delicious. Do you remember that time when I tried Bukayo Saka's childhood snack? Hot cross buns with sausage and ketchup. It was actually so good. Honestly, you guys, if you're new to this channel, do check it out. It is on the Latte Firm social media feed on
I still always and will and highly recommend hot cross bun with some slices of cheese in it.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. But
And
hot cross
some
buns with
butter.
sausage was amazing. I got to be honest. I'm eating cashews, says Benogidan. Melissa says, not snacking tonight, but I'm drinking some strong, sweet mint tea. Maple donut with some tea, says Jonathan. Ooh, Joel says Wayne always has elite food. Karen says she loves tandoori. Paul James says triple layer cake and Pellegrino lemonade. Cupcakes and milk. That's right. Get the old vitamin C in you. You get the old vitamin C? Calcium. That's what I'm talking about. Get the old calcium in you. Very good. Malteser box. Now this, Ash, you are a man after my own heart. Just have the whole goddamn box. Malteser, but they're so dangerous. Matt says Bounty is amazing. I'll tell you what's amazing. My Snapchat tonight, and I'll be looking forward to this all week. Ferrero Rocher, 70% dark hazelnut tiles. So you know how they do the coconut Raffaello and they do the original coconut Raffaello, obviously deserves to be in the bin. They do this classic Ferrero Rocher. I love the fact that Tesco's now do the Ferrero Rocher dark as a block. So I'm going to tuck into that in just a wee second. And I've given myself a paper cut. Absolutely brilliant. Yowzers. O'Donnell, cheese and onion crisps. Irish crisps are the best. Good old spud, says Michael Daly. Rich tea is for peasants. Plain digestives are the word. Nah, Melissa, come on. Plain digestives have a time and a place. Lads, would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Plain digestives, they're an absolute. I mean, come
They're
on.
good soak. They soak up. Rich tea doesn't soak.
Rich tea is just a pathetic biscuit. Sorry. It is just.
At least plain digestives have a taste to them.
Yeah.
They've got a flavour to them.
Oh, this is summed it up. It's a prison biscuit.
Exactly.
Cheers, Manny.
What they serve in the prison like stuff, isn't it? That's what they do.
I think you're right. Snack check is alcohol for DJ T10. Joel, biscuits and gravy. What's going on there?
American.
That's American.
Oh, scone and gravy.
Okay.
They've got sausage gravy. They have a cream gravy.
Biscuits and actual gravy.
I'm assuming that's American. It's not gravy like our gravy.
It's like cream. It's like a cream gravy.
Right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You cannot beat Lindt chocolate. Nothing compares, says AFC 1238. That is fine. Snack check choice there. I want your bounties, says Tony. That sounds all sorts of saucy. I want your bounties. You can have my bounties, my friend. Right. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking part in Snack Check. Like I said, tuck in. We've got lots of football and content to cover today. Keep the chat active. Like I say, we're going to get a couple of polls going as well. And also, talking about Manchester United, we're going to do that team of 08 and Arteta's current team. And we're going to talk about that. And maybe we'll do like a combined 11 because I think the findings and the conclusion might surprise a lot of people.
Alex is in the house. Van Persie again.
Honestly.
You're still hurting on that.
He's livid. Alex says, cheers, gents. Happy Friday. Pizza and movie Friday lined up for tonight with the kids. Best day of the week, of course. And then, of course, you're here watching Late Night Lounge on Latte Firm. Tony says digestives and cheese. I mean, why not? It's part of cheesecake, I guess. Right, there we are. Let me bring in the slides. Chaps, let's start with just casting your mind back to earlier on in the week because we've not really sort of covered it with you guys, but we won away at the San Siro. Yembele, tell us, what did you make of that performance? The Italian job. Arsenal delivered it.
Really good. Really, really good. I mean, when you looked at it beforehand, given the context of Man United, you're kind of thinking, do we rotate? He did rotate, but we kept the level really high as well. I thought we were really competitive. Milan went out with their first team, and I thought we did such a good job getting the goals through set pieces, different ways of getting the goals. The first goal, obviously, from a really, quick piece of reaction play by Jesus. I think, Jesus had a very good night in terms of in front of goal for Victor Gyökeres, win at San Siro, perfect record. It was a really good night overall for us. And it just underlines the point this year in the league format, not just with the lesser games, these big games, Atletico Madrid, Inter, Bayern Munich, we have dominated, and I'm not taking that lightly. We have dominated each game. It's really reassuring to see that even when we rotate, we're highly competitive, and really enjoyed the game. Really enjoyed some of the performances. I thought Miles Lewis-Skelly had a much better game. I thought William Saliba coming out of the defence really looked good, and Jesus obviously great, and then what a goal by Victor Gyökeres. I thought, that's a good confidence boost. I slated him, but that goal was perfect, the perfect kind of goal that we need our striker to score. Just those kind of, you've got great shot selection, it was good. And it means now, because of other results, that we are top 2 guaranteed. Obviously, it depends on the last game, Carrot and Matty, which you think we should be able to get top spot. But it's good for us that it means we A, avoid the playoffs, B, we get the home legs in the second, the home second legs. Perfect night overall, and hopefully we complete the perfect record, because that's something we haven't done. These are different times that we are the only team in Europe to have a perfect record. It's amazing.
It really is. And Jonathan Wayne has just sort of said, we won in second gear, 7 changes. Our squad is mental. It was a fun, relaxing game to watch. Lots of people talking about it being nice to be not playing a Premier League game and to be able to play with the handbrake off, as DJ D10 said earlier. Wayne, would you share those sentiments?
Yeah, absolutely. And it just is crazy to think that we would go away to a team that have been champions of Italy a number of years. I know that Napoli obviously won it last year, but Inter have been the dominant force for the past sort of 5 to 10 years. They've been Champions League finalists the last couple of years. They've got some good pedigree in this competition. For us to go away from home, rotate, and still be as comfortable as we were is just testament to our squad depth. And it just made me think back to the last time we were in Milan and we won there against Inter. It was a huge deal the way that we done it. It was a massive deal at the time. And this is just like another day. That's just the level of the squad and the standard of team that we've created like that. And it's brilliant, because Inter were in a position where they kind of had to win to stay in and around the top 8. They're very unlikely now to get top 8, which is a big blow to them. And we just took it away from them quite easily at the San Siro. And we've done it in a way that we've not really seen very often in the Premier League because of the open space that we had in the Champions League. And it was thoroughly enjoyable.
A lot of praise for our strikers, as Jizzle McDizzle shouts, Jesus. And I got to say, Yembele, Victor. Happy with our boy Gyökeres up top. Yem, you've been quite critical of Victor Gyökeres. That was a goal that presumably you weren't expecting him to score, but what a boy, what a goal, what a finish.
No, I expect him to score those because he's got great shot selection. I've never been critical of his shooting ability. What he got in this was space, time, and he had the skill to score that goal. But also as well, he does need to be found. I'm critical of him, but I'm critical of the support around him. And it did come to the fore slightly in this game as well, with Saka not passing to him. You could tell the frustration again. Saka could have squared it to Victor Gyökeres. He instead decided to shoot, and that's happened quite a lot. So again, I get the frustration. I think Victor Gyökeres' problem is obviously the difference, as you just said, between the Premier League and the Champions League. There is more space for him to operate in, whereas in the Premier League, it's deep block. Everyone's going to deep block us. So it's much more harder for him to find space. I have no issues with him and his shooting, but we see it in the warm-ups, we see it in the videos, we know he can do it. When he got that goal, when he got it at that position and he took the shot, I had no worries about it because he's got a great shot selection. The second shot he got, no, that was the Avit. I did a little tweet afterwards, the John Smith's Avit. That was definitely him. But yeah, no, really happy for him. Look, I want my striker to score goals. Jesus scored. He scored perfect night for us, as I said.
K-Well says, I'm also not a fan of Gyökeres, but the game state was perfect for him with spacing behind. Now, I got to just fix on that point, because without Kai Havertz and Gabby Jesus in this sort of first half of the season, if you like, Victor Gyökeres has had to literally carry the weight of leading this club. And we've been top and we've been going strong in the Champions League. And a lot of it comes down to him and his impact on the team and how he brings others into play and distracts some of the defenders. And listen, he scored a goal last night. That's 3 goals in 4 games. He might grab maybe 1 or 2 on Sunday, and then all of a sudden it's a bit of a purple patch. And I've said it all along, I think he is very, very capable of going on a bit of a run. And if he gets to the season end with, let's say, 20 across all competitions, maybe a few more, that would be a decent first season return for someone who's come from a different league, who's come into England and had to acclimatise and hit the ground, maybe not running, but sort of jogging. And it's a new system. And there's a slide coming up about our attack and how many games our attacking players have gone without a goal, and it's quite damning. It kind of makes you realize, like, how the hell are we even top? But more to come on that in just a moment. Go back a few years, said Jizzle McDizzle, and that we would struggle away in Europe, and we'd be looking forward to a nice, easy 3 points in the league against a Bolton or a Blackburn at home. Uncreative handle name 2022 says, I'm not sure how much I can take from this game on how Victor performed, but really pleased for him to get a goal. Yeah, he needed that. He needs that confidence. And to be fair, he hasn't really shown any sort of impact on his mental strength. He's always been there. He always shows for the ball, always wants it. And he goes time and time again. Really, really love that. Cash Money says Gyok could be a decent option for us in the Champions League and Cups in general, as space will open up due to the knockout nature. Indeed. And Tony says FK needs to be more greedy. Maybe not. Who knows? Right, let's move away from that. Let's talk about something else, chaps, which has been in the narrative. And I wonder if it's because Arsenal seem to be doing so well. And the narrative is basically, but the Premier League is so boring and so easy, and the Champions League also. Europeans' top teams not nowhere near at the level. I mean, the image on the left-hand side, courtesy of PremierLeague.com, shows that no Premier League team in the last 2 game weekends are on a winning run of 2 games back-to-back. There's not one consecutive run of 2 wins there. And the table on the right shows Arsenal high and flying, well clear of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and of our English neighbours, making up that sort of top 8. Wayne, do you buy this narrative that the Premier League is all of a sudden so much easier, which is why Arsenal are top and cruising?
Not in the slightest, no. If anything, it's more difficult because of the level of quality throughout the league and the amount of money that comes into the league and the amount of money that your mid-table sides get. Look at Sunderland, for example, how much money they spent in the summer coming up from the Championship, having a fantastic season in 9th. Compare that to the European heavyweights, Inter Milan, AC Milan, the likes of Juventus, even across Spain, the likes of big names in Spain previous years like Valencia, Villarreal, teams like that. Sunderland have the capacity to outspend almost anyone in Europe outside of the proper heavyweights, the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, PSG, and obviously the Premier League sides. The amount of money that we get into this league, it just makes it easy for our league to run away a little bit. And that's why you see on the right-hand side, there are 5 sides in the Premier League in the top 8 of Europe. And Manchester City, surprisingly enough, are the one that are on the outside looking in. And you wouldn't even be surprised if Man City finished in the top 8 in whenever the games are next week. You wouldn't be surprised if they finished in the top 8, which would mean all 6 Premier League teams would be in that top 8 in the Champions League. So no, it's more difficult than ever because now it's impossible to win away from home, or it's so difficult to win consistently away from home. It's so tough. And for us, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. And ask a Villa fan if they find the Premier League boring. They're up in 3rd. Ask a Sunderland fan or a Brentford fan if they find the Premier League boring. They're having fantastic seasons. The common consensus and that common opinion tends to come from fans of teams who aren't doing as well as they probably should be.
Jonathan, wrong comment. The comment's on fire tonight. Jonathan says Premier League is basically a mini Super League, so much money. Yeah, I read that, and we're going to talk about finances in a second, but Brentford are now richer than the largest club in South America, which is insane and quite telling that a club like that, like Brentford, respectfully, are bigger than a South American giant in Flamengo. I mean, let's talk about the Champions League sort of rhetoric. Adi Oladipo, who is a very good broadcaster at TalkSport, he and I exchanged a couple of tweets a couple of days ago. He basically sort of quoted the Champions League table and said, I hate this format. And I was like, of course you hate this format. Arsenal top of the league. And he was like, oh, Arsenal, European pedigree. Oh, shaking my boots. I was like, mate, it's not that deep. But explain to me, why do you hate the format? And it's literally because they find it grating that Arsenal are top. What do you make of the Champions League format, Yem? And what do you make of the narrative that actually Champions League is really easy as well?
No, the Champions League isn't definitely. It's much more arduous, I'd say now. I wasn't a fan of it initially, but I've grown to like it. And the reason is that there's more jeopardy coming in each game. Look at this table. Man City are 11th. You've got, 11, 1, 2, towards 26 are various different teams. It's not as easy as what it was, where you had four teams in a group, and then it was by game day 2, it was already done because the bigger teams had already won and are already through. They've got 6 points, and that guaranteed them through. So there's much more jeopardy now. Week to week, it hasn't changed. The reason Arsenal are better is because the structure of our team is like the league format. We are built for this kind of, league format, I think. And as we said, in Europe, we do much better because there's much more space. It's not a surprise. You can't level that Arsenal top because it's boring. No, it isn't. We played Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, and Bayern Munich. So three top teams in our schedule. Atletico Bilbao, no mugs either. We're playing Kara Amati next, fair enough. But generally, the quality that we faced is much higher than a lot of teams have faced. Tottenham's run has been absolute dire, apart from PSG. You cannot tell me that Tottenham have not had it easier than us. The difference is we're one of the best teams, and that's just, we're going to get this hatred anyway. We already know it. And we can talk to death about it because Jamie Carragher's gone down that route as well with, the kind of gaslighting that we know what's going to come along. Just enjoy the ride. I like the format now. I think it's got a lot more jeopardy. I think there's much more, you don't know who's going to go through this. Are we glad that we're not getting to the playoff round? Absolutely. And we've done the work. Arteta's realized you get the work done now. You get, 2 weeks off effectively from midweek games. Much, much better. It's, the big teams, yes, will rise. But look at it. Newcastle, Chelsea are doing much better. Man City are on the verge of, they could go up or down. There's so many teams that could, fall in and out depending on how it goes the last day. I think it's great. I love that idea that there's jeopardy up till the last minute. Who's going to make the playoff rounds? Who's going to make the top 8? Much better than the last. I've learned to love it, and that we're top is just sour grapes.
The biggest thing, and the only reason why anyone should dislike this format, is that there are 2 more group stage games. That's the only reason anyone should have to dislike this format, that there's more football for the players, because there's already too much football as it is. But it's never that. It's always the fact that their team, who they support or who they want to do well, isn't doing as well as they would have hoped. And if you look at that image on the right-hand side, FK, how can you find that boring? You don't know if Bayern Munich are going to finish second or Real Madrid. You don't know, looking from 4th down to 12th, who's going to finish in those positions. Liverpool could drop out of the playoffs completely. You don't expect it because they've got a relatively decent final fixture, but they could drop from 4th to 12th in one game day. And below Atletico Madrid, there are 4 or 5 more teams on 13 or 12 points that could finish in that top 8. So how could you not like that? Because when you came to match week 6, and it was a group stage of 8 groups or whatever, 7 of those groups were already decided, first and second, and there was just nothing to play for.
Dave makes a good point by saying I still miss playing teams home and away. And that's probably one thing that I don't like about this league format, in that there's no real science behind the way the draw is done. Like, you just get some random fixtures home and away. And it was nice actually to have Inter away and then maybe Inter at home. I like that sort of balance. But the older fans amongst us, and I know this format's only been out for a while, but yeah, you and I have watched many a group stage season over the years that we've been following this magnificent football club. And you get to game week 4 and it's all competitive and you get 10 points on the board or 12 points on the board. And then the last 2 games are just so boring. Like, we'd rather not have them. And it was a great way to bleed some of the youngsters in, but I like this. It's jeopardy. As someone just said a few moments ago, PSG finished 23rd and they won the thing. I think finishing high has a great reward now. You get to play all your sort of return legs at home by finishing top 2. I've read somewhere, although it's not confirmed, that by finishing top, you get to be the home team in the final, if that's as far as you get, but that's unconfirmed. I mean, there are some perks to it, and I like it. I mean, I've got to say, like, I don't think this is how the top 8 is going to be, but you've got massive clubs in there, and Spurs, and you've got some other clubs that are climbing just below. I mean, look, I think it's just hatred. I've put out in the chat, because there are hundreds of you watching live on YouTube right now. What do you think of this new format? Do you prefer this new format? 83% of our viewers say yes, they prefer this format of the Champions League. And I think it's a brilliant format, and long may it continue. I want to talk about something just very quickly, chaps. Obviously, it's all going really, really well for Arsenal. And this is a question that I put to Yankee Gunner of the Arsenal Vision podcast last night on the Daily Grind, the thumbnail. Just to kind of get your thinking on this, boys. And I suspect I might know what the answer was, but Elliot really surprised me. I put it to him that We're top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, going strong in the Carabao Cup, advantage Arsenal at half-time. We're okay in the FA Cup. We don't really know what the draw is going to be. There are now, 8 days to go in this January window. City have made their move. Semenyo, Guehi, as they try and sort of reduce the gap. Villa are making noise about players. Maybe one or two other clubs. Should we, as Arsenal Football Club, be making a move as a response to City, or as a statement from a position of strength, or as making a statement to the rest of football, including Europe, that we're a big boy club. We might be top of every competition that we're playing in, but we want this so bad that we're going to make a move and really go for the kill? Or do you stick with what you've got? Wayne, you up first.
I don't think we should make a move based on what City have done. I don't think we should make a move based on the rest of Europe or the rest of football. If we're going to make a move, it's because it's for a player that we want. It's for a player that we've had a long-standing interest in, and maybe we bring forward a summer signing to now. But I think our squad is so stacked as it is, and I think that our squad has so much quality as it is. Who are you signing realistically that's going to come in January and either displace a current starter, or not even necessarily displace them, challenge them more than they're already being challenged?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad you asked that question, because courtesy of last night's show, here is our squad. I've done some graphics there. You can see the players that are in, and I've taken Ethan Wanyeri out, of course, has joined Olympique Marseille. Don't ask me to say that again. But in terms of who, I mean, if we were in Fantasyland, which is obviously my head, and we wanted to be really serious, for me, I think where we lack is midfield. I love Declan Rice. He's been played into the ground. I love Mikel Merino because he's just such an intelligent utility player. Zubimendi has changed our lives. Christian Norgard, criminally underrated, underused in my opinion. Erdegaard, in and out of the team, in and out of form, but is our skipper. And Eber Chiesa, who of course has played more minutes than we all think and might come strong in the second half. But I think we just lack a little bit of dynamism, bit of power. And if something awful were to happen to someone like Declan Rice, last time we said that he got bloody injured the next day, so let's hope we've not struck again. But, why don't we just go and smash the door down at Forest and say, hey, we like Elliot Anderson. We're going to make a move because we are the biggest club in the country. We're going for the league title and we want your boy. Why don't we take advantage and just rinse Crystal Palace of Adam Wharton, because everybody else seems to be going and he is absolutely going to be on the move in the summer. Just go and get him now. I recognise that both of these boys want to play regular football because it's a World Cup year. I also recognise Cardiac Cat says, look, it could be an extortionate price, but according to Kieran Maguire, football expert, PSR, FFP, not an issue for Arsenal. We could go 100 million easy in January. Yen, what are your thoughts?
It's a hard one because, again, Arsenal don't have... Yes, we may have 100 million PSR, but we spend now, summer will be compromised, and we do have plans for the summer, obviously.
Mate, don't worry about the summer. You're getting Adam Wharton or Elliot Anderson. That's the summer done. You should be looking to exit one of those midfielders.
No, but you can. But again, Arsenal can't do what City do, which is manufacture profit whenever they need to. We have to, when we spend 100 million or etc. now, we won't be able to generate that straight away. It's a really hard thing for us. We still have to manage our finances a little bit more carefully than most. We're getting better, and I think the next item will showcase how better we are, but we're not there yet. We have spent a lot of money in the past window, but we haven't recouped that much, and obviously that's a concern. We have got the most stacked squad, I think, outside of City probably. City have probably got better attacking players. We've probably got the better overall squad. I do agree with you. Midfield is probably the area where we lack a little bit. But for example, Norgard has not played enough. So you have to find that quite fine balance between having someone like an Elliot Anderson and a Wharton and getting them to play. And obviously at the moment it's still a struggle because Eze still, although he's played more minutes, is not really as much time as people would like. There's a number of factors here, but also as well, if the opportunity was there for Adam Wharton or Elliot Anderson at a reasonable price, not extortionate and over the top, I think we would be there. I think if you look at what happened with Antoine Semenyo, we were definitely interested, but we couldn't do what City did, which was to go over the asking price. We couldn't do what they did with Mark Guehi, which is to go well above the asking price. We don't have that capability. What we have is the capability to do it at certain points and reset our PSR and our financial records, because that's what happens. That's just the reality of our club, which is self-sustaining and tries to stay within the constraints of what we do. We don't go with, quote unquote, the rule bending, if we call it that. So that's just unfortunate. That's just where we are. But we've got very good people who are making moves. I'm sure if Berta saw an opportunity, he would say, look, let's go for it. I can deliver this player on this. He's clever at manipulating rules. We saw it with Nkapie. I just think it's a really good position that we're in, that we're not like desperate. We're not crying out for something. You're talking about it in terms of we should be responding, etc. But why? We are top of the league. We're top of the league here. I know it's ideal that we take a position of strength and you strengthen further, but sometimes that doesn't work. Look what happened to Liverpool this season. They were top of the league, spent 400 million. They're not what they were again. So, pros and cons with everything. Would I like a signing? I would absolutely love a signing. That would be amazing. Would I want to risk our summer plans or impact the budget for the summer from PSR and FFP? Probably not. It's not desperate. It's not urgent right now. So I'm happy where we are. But if something came up, yeah, would love it.
Yeah, listen, as the sort of host of the show, I want to sort of put questions out to you. I know I'm living in sort of fantasy land, and some will probably point the finger and be like, "Oh, you're such a spoilt brat. Why do you want all these players?" But maybe it's the sheer desperation and sort of hunger and thirst that we have for this league title that sort of evaded us for more than 2 decades. I just think Sir Alex Ferguson used to say it all the time. You go and break the transfer record the year you've won the championship, because you are in a position of strength and you want to kill your opponent psychologically to say, we're serious, we're here, we're not going to be moved. And I just feel that, like, again, in this fantasy world sort of scenario, Arsenal have the money. We are a big boy club. So act like a big boy club. Go and get another player that sort of says, City, we see what you've done. We're raising you, and you're going to have to come and fight us for this league title. Not only are we sort of strong with what we've got, but we've just gone out and made a statement and bought a player that's going to be even better for us, and we're going to be even stronger as a squad. Now, I don't neglect things like squad harmony and where do you play these players. I know we've just lost Ethan Munyeri, and Elliot put it beautifully yesterday. There are going to be match days where Norgard might not get in the squad, where Eza might not get in the squad. I mean, the match day squad. But you can never have too many good players. Anyway, that was just a nice little debate. I have put a poll out to the viewers. Let's close it. So the question was, should Arsenal move this January, given the circumstances? And unfortunately, my attempts at persuasion did not work, because 73% of our watching viewers say no, we should not sign anyone this January. Keep our powder dry, I hear Ivan Gazidis shout for the summer. Right, let's move away from this topic and let's talk about the football financials. Yembele, staying with you. The financials are out. This is courtesy of The Athletic. You can see the chart there on the left-hand side. Our revenue in blue creeping massively upwards, and that sort of sharp upturn from 2020, 2021, when the Cronkies obviously sorted out the loan finance that we had at the club. And our wages have stayed reasonable. So they are not moving at the same pace or even outpacing revenue, which is only a very good thing. I pictured Josh Kroenke there. Don't know why. He looks very handsome. Great suit game. But Yem, I know you've been covering this on your podcast. Talk to us. What does this mean to you as a fan? Is this a positive thing to see?
Yeah, absolutely, because it means we're trending. I've always said with the financials, we struggled in a number of areas. Commercial revenue was one of them. That has changed, obviously. Our commercial revenues are up. We've gone from 258 million to 314 million. So we are definitely on the up. And generally, turnover has increased. We're about 15% overall turnover. We were heavily reliant on match day turnover. That's reduced slightly. So there are improvements, but there are areas where we can expose more. I still think commercially we can do a lot better. I think where a lot of the revenue has come for some of the higher ups has been from the Club World Championship and more participation within the Champions League. So naturally, you would assume that the more we stay competitive within the Champions League, etc., the better in the future years, because Liverpool, that's what's happened with Liverpool this year. So matchday revenue, TV revenue is going to be a big one. The big talking point that's coming soon is obviously the Sky deal is up shortly. So how big clubs act on that is going to be a big one, because again, we know Arsenal's international reach is actually really big, as in we're one of the best supported clubs globally. So how that will affect our broadcasting revenue. But for this season, it's very positive. I think if we, success, I've always said this, success gives you the positive financials, always does. And I think this is a trend towards that. So if we can win the Premier League, if we could win the Champions League, or even do well there, I think it will be a huge boost for us in the next couple of years. And that's what we need to ensure that we stay ahead. Because you look at the clubs above us, Man City won the the Champions League, participated in the Club World Cup. Now we all know the Club World Cup was it's a friendly tournament, but it's a very well-funded friendly tournament. And a lot of money has gone there for Chelsea, for example, Paris Saint-Germain, Bayern Munich. Our stadium as well is a factor as well. We need to improve that. We certainly know that, to increase match day attendances and the events we can put on, those kind of things. Tottenham make a lot of money now from having those events. There are areas which we can do. And I think it's great that the Kroenkes have actually reorganized the board to address those areas. So I think it's a really positive outlook for Arsenal. Wages, as you said, have not increased massively. They will, because obviously there's bigger contracts arriving as well. But on the side of it, we are in a good squad position where we're not overreaching ourselves. And I think that comes back to the point that we just had just now. A good squad is great. A big squad is great. But you can't overreach your financials, especially with the new rules coming in around your match day commercial revenues impacting your ability to spend. So, overall, great work, more to improve on, but it's on the right path. So, we don't praise the Kroenkes enough. This time we have to, because we are now getting into that elite area. We were always hovering there, about 10th or 11th. We're now breaking through, and I think we'll do better if we continue our trajectory.
More revenue than Manchester United. This is music to Wayne's ears. Need that £2.5 million for winning the Carabobbins. If we just move along to another chart, I mean, the financials bode well for the summer. We'll talk about James Ollie's story in just a moment on the right-hand side. The left-hand chart now, again, courtesy of The Athletic, shows how matchday revenue for Arsenal has gone in the right direction, certainly since 2020-21. Obviously, that dipped because of COVID and lockdown. Broadcast revenue also going in the right direction, as is commercial revenue. So many people have been praising Juliet Slot in the chat. I mean, Wayne, these are days that Ivan Gazidis used to dream of, that we would be competing with the biggest and best clubs by generating all this revenue. I mean, surely it bodes well for us as a club because of the self-sustainable model. But it does bode well for the summer, because the story today, James Ollie saying that Arsenal are weighing up a move for Atletico striker Julio Alvarez, of course, used to play in the Premier League at Manchester City. It's a great place to be supporting Arsenal. I mean, we're making huge signings now. Like, you look at the bench regularly, you've got, £65 million, Kai Havertz, £45 million, Ben White, £40 million, Gabi Jesus. You've got £68 million, Eza, £5 million Kepa, to be fair, but he was bought for $70 million at one stage in his career. We have got supremely expensive talent on the bench. I mean, this is great. That's not even a question, just an observation.
Yeah, it's the stuff of dreams, and it's the stuff that we aren't used to. Having 24 players of 5 million and up, we're not used to it, because we would have 16 players of 5 million up, and the other sort of 6 or 7 would be kids from Hale End that are trying to break through. It's going amazing, and it just kind of shows that success on the pitch reflects the success off the pitch as well. When we were in the Europa League, there obviously wasn't as many eyes on us. There weren't as many commercial opportunities. There wasn't as much money knocking on our door for shirt sponsorships and sleeve sponsorships and things like that. I think that the best thing we've kind of done in the last 2 seasons, especially, is optimize the weird sponsorships. And I'm not just talking about the shirt sleeve sponsorship. We've got like a drinks partner now with Coca-Cola. You're getting 10 million or whatever it is from them just to be a drinks partner. I know that obviously we joked about Prime being in the stadiums a couple of years ago with KSI and Logan Paul, but that's a sponsorship that we never had before from a hydration partner. You see the amount of sponsors, if you're lucky enough to be at the games, or if you can see it on the screens. We've got these new digital screens around sort of the middle of the stadium that just promotes Forex, or what's it called, crypto sponsors and betting sponsors and stuff like that we've partnered with. And we're just kind of getting money from places that I don't think we were getting it before. My biggest concern, and going back to one of Yem's points there, is the match day revenue. And I mean that in a sense of, I don't think right now, while we're good, I don't think we'll be in a position where if you were to give up a season ticket, someone wouldn't take it. We're in a position where the whole stadium could give up their season. Everyone that has a season ticket could give it up tomorrow. It would be snapped up the very next day. My concern comes from, and it might be from a very selfish point of view, the club level season tickets that we've got at the moment, because that's potentially in the process of becoming maybe more corporate seating. And if somebody were to give up their club level season ticket that has a prime real estate in the stadium, does that then go to the next fan, or does the club keep that because it can be given out as a sponsorship seat, as a corporate seat? That's my concern in the match day revenue. Are all of our seats that can be optimized by fans being given to fans, because you are seeing more and more corporate packages and stuff like that? And there is absolutely a place for it in the game, but it shouldn't come at the expense of the fans. And it would be nice if, with all of this success that we're seeing with the broadcast money, with the commercial money, it would be nice if the club then kind of paid that back to fans by maybe freezing season ticket prices for a year. I don't know if it's the case for you guys, but I think I've only had a season ticket for 5 years, and I've had like a 6%, a 7%, an 8%, and an 8% increase over the last 4 years. I'm expecting another 6 or 7% again in the summer. And it would just be nice that if we're getting money from all these other places, don't take it away from the fans.
Karen says, I don't like some of the sponsors, don't like betting or crypto stuff. Yeah, that's something that I share. I don't like betting companies. Obviously, I think they do some very awful things to some very vulnerable people. That is why you will never have me knowingly having advertising with betting companies on this channel, which is why I'm immensely grateful for all of the super chats, all of the Patreon members, all of the channel members as and when they arrive. Really, really grateful for that, because your contributions go a very long way. But each to their own, I guess. What do we make of the story of Julian Alvarez, who, of course, used to play, out in River Plate, actually, in Argentina before he signed for Manchester City. 67 times he was playing for City and scored 20 goals, so just under one goal in every 3 games. Has represented Argentina, is now playing at Atletico Madrid, and is available apparently for as little as 100 million euros in the summer. Is this the signing, Wayne, sticking with you, that sort of excites you? Because it excites a lot of people in the chat.
It does, but he's a player that's got less goals than Victor Gyökeres this season. So does that still excite you? Didn't he leave England because the weather? He hated the weather.
It's always sunny in London. It's always sunny in London when you go shopping.
It's always sunny and cold. No, as a player, he's fantastic. He's got all the ability in the world. He troubled us when Atletico came to town, and he's somebody that I liked when Manchester City left. But 100 million for a player that's got less goals than Victor Gyökeres, or less goals than Victor Gyökeres, I think. I don't know, 100 million for a player that's going to be homesick in 6 months again. I don't know, or sunsick in 6 months. I don't know. That would concern me.
Well, Vlad says Alvarez would suit us very well. Don't think he's worth Declan Rice money, though. Lots of people have been comparing his influence and impact to a certain Alexis Sanchez. Manny says, I thought he didn't like the weather or the lifestyle in England. Whole milk, seeing all the positives. Alvarez means more L'Oreal revenue. He's got a great head of hair there. Love that. Would be the perfect Jesus replacement with his big wages leaving, says Cardiac Cats. Kwell saying he has 11 goals, 6 assists this season. That is not fewer than Gyökeres. And Dan Smith says he's good, but 100 million, reckon we could uncover our own Alvarez the way City did when they signed him. Yem, closing thoughts on Julian, not Julio?
No, fabulous player. 100 million does concern me. I don't think he's worth that. But obviously he's got links with Berta, who was the one who brought him over to Atletico. So I can understand that. And as we've just said, London is different, baby. It's not Manchester. When you come to London, it's bright lights, and that provides all the sun you need, my boy. That's all you need. You go down Oxford Street, boom, it's all good, Bling bling.
Jonathan says Mikel is weird with strikers. Would be a good fit. Mikel values his work rate and is dropping deep. Yeah, listen, the jury is very much out.
Would he play striker?
No.
Or left wing. I could see him coming in as being a left wing.
Would you pay £100 million to play Alvarez left side?
No.
I don't know. I can see that being what Arteta does.
Yes, I would. I would
know.
pay that. I would pay it because while he's just sent the absolute shits up me. Bring back Nketiah says no, pay it, please. Also, buy whatever you
his
pay.
Question:
whatever you can.
At what price would you say he's fair value? 60, 70, 80 million?
I don't think there's fair value in football anymore. To be fair, I don't know if
in your head, what's an acceptable figure for Julian Alvarez in your head, realistically?
Probably about 75, maybe. But I don't think
based on what? Just based on feel, based on vibes.
Yeah, basically. Vibes, right?
I mean, Chrome says he's worth 65 to 80. How are we just managed to?
That's a very, very wide band.
He's even better than Marino. Mate, just go out and get Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Oh my God.
Danny says 75 to 80 million is what I'm thinking. Interesting. He's 25 years old. So, it feels weird that he's still so young. I thought he was a little bit older. Cheeky bid for Harold Kane in the summer.
No.
Would you guys entertain that?
Absolutely.
No, he's washed.
No, he is.
Washed?
Are you mad?
Are you awake, Yambele? Are you mixing medication?
When he played us, where was he?
That's because we're elite.
Mate, Harold Kane.
Nowhere. In the league, he would be nowhere.
Let me just put that in the chat, in the poll. Would you guys sign if it was a cheap deal? Would you sign if money was no option?
What defines a cheap deal for Harry?
No, as in if it was a. Actually, no. Just there's a question. Would you sign Harry Kane?
Absolutely.
Because he would. Imagine he'd come to Arsenal and be the all-time Premier League top goal scorer, but being an Arsenal player. Could you imagine, guys? You paid £68 million for Ezra. Thanks, Tony. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Nketiah, please no. Washed, says SC.
Thank you. Washed.
I think he's talking about Eddie Nketiah.
Nah, washed. Harry Kane washed.
Hero Down Under said he'd pay 40 million for Harry Kane. I don't know how this conversation has just all of a sudden gone down south. But here we are. Let's have a look at what the viewers are saying. 53% of you, 54% of you would sign Harry Kane. There you go. The majority wins. All right, let's move away from financials. Let's talk about, boys and girls watching, and ladies and gents, let's talk about the Barclays, because it's back, baby. Into match week 23 of the Premier League season, and it is the biggest of games. Manchester United coming to the Emirates on Sunday, and that Super Sunday. Let's just take a trip down memory lane. This is the league standing after match week 22, as you can see, courtesy of PremierLeague.com. Arsenal are top, played 22, 26 goal difference and 50 points. That is 7 points clear of Manchester City after they lost in the Manchester derby. So that's something to take note of. Villa losing at home after everyone thought they were in the title race and after everyone told me that the lead would be 4 points. But they went and messed it up to Everton at home in front of their own, and that was glorious. So both of these jumps are 7 points behind the mighty Arsenal. And then basically the best of the rest. Liverpool are in fourth, 36 points after 22 games. That is abysmal. Manchester United somehow, weirdly, 35 points, in with a chance of finishing in the top four. And of course, managerial change with Michael Carrick. They are enjoying somewhat of a renaissance under him. Chelsea are in sixth with 34. Brentford in seventh. And you've got Newcastle in eighth. What else have you got down there? Look at Spurs, 14th. At least that's progress. That's improvement on last season. What's the relegation zone saying? West Ham firmly rooted in that bottom three with Burnley and Wolves, who are as good as gone. And unfortunately for us, ladies and gents, boys and girls, it is Wolves who go to Manchester City tomorrow. Pray for them. So the fixtures tomorrow, also courtesy of the Premier League. West Ham will play Sunderland. That's a 12:30 kickoff tomorrow. Burnley hosting Spurs. That's a tasty relegation battle. Fancy Burnley. Fulham, Brighton. Manchester City are going to host Wolves, and I suspect that could be double digits. Bournemouth hosting Liverpool, 5:30. That's a tasty kickoff, isn't it? A cold Saturday in January, the floodlits sort of arena. That'd be a lovely game. And then on Sunday, we all wake up to watch Brentford versus Forest, Palace against Chelsea in some sort of weird London derby, west-south sort of thing. Newcastle at home to Villa. That's such a difficult game to predict. It could be full of goals. It could be just a glum 0-0. And then, of course, the action at the Emirates. The Arsenal host Manchester United at 4:30. That is a Super Sunday, and that is the game that we're going to look forward to. Just before we look at some of the Manchester United Arsenal content, how are you boys feeling about this particular fixture? Wayne, let's start with you.
It's annoying that they've had a week off to prepare for it. a time in the season where you'd kind of hope that they would be distracted by something else, but obviously no Europe out of FA Cup and stuff. They've now just got focused energy on us. It's obviously very annoying that it's coming off the back of a very big win at Manchester City, where their confidence is probably sky high, but I trust our team. I like the squad. I like whatever level of lineup we could put out against them. We just need to play our own game. And if Manchester United try to play us how they played Man City and try to leave as much open space as they did and get out in the transition the way they did against Man City, we can carve them apart. The concern is they do have a lot of threats that can counter us and have countered us in the past with that speed on the break. If they play Mbeumo, if they've got Ahmad, if they just go for that pure pace, then it is a little bit of a concern that they could catch us on the counter. But look, I think Arteta is going to take this one seriously, not because it's Arsenal versus Man United, not because of the title, but because I think he's got remembering in the back of his mind that Carrick beat him before. And I don't think Arteta will like that.
He won't. Yem Jacques says Manchester United close at the 17th. Then they are to us, which is wild. Asif says, find it hilarious that they're only going to play 40 games in all competitions this season. How are you feeling, Yem, ahead of Sunday's fixture?
I hate this fixture. Honestly, I hate it. Man United will turn up because they always do. I think the FA Cup game last season is the perfect game to show what Man United are. They always get up for the big games. It is not as they're not as bad as they were last year. They're certainly better, and I think we just have to be very professional in this game. Get the 3 points and put as good a performance in. They, as Wayne put it really well, they've got Cunha and Mbeumo, who I think will start in that false nine position because it gives that kind of unpredictability in the attack. And then you've got, Amad Diallo, Benjamin Sesko potentially off the bench. It's not going to be an easy game at all. They've had the rest, as Wayne put it as well, again. So, but we have to demonstrate our title credentials. I think this is another chance for it again. And in the last two, unfortunately, we have lacked against Liverpool and against Forest. We need to stamp our authority. Yes, we might be a bit tired, but this is what the title's all about. If you're going to be in the title, if you're playing the big games in the big leagues, you can't do nothing but you have this week in, week out, 2 games a week. You've got to get used to it, and there should be no excuses. We rested enough players in the week to make it competitive. We should have no concerns about that. Be wary of the threat. Fernandes is a superb attacking midfield, probably the best in the league, actually. As much as I hate him for his antics, he's probably the best in the league creatively. There is a lot of concern. Oh.
Where's Dembele gone? Honestly, can't get the staff here.
Camera fell asleep.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's saying, to be honest.
Do you know what Arteta's not done? And he's kind of done it. He's kind of done everything else outside of winning one of the big trophies in the last sort of 6 years. He's kind of done everything else. He's not given us the battering of Man United that we've deserved over the last 4 or 5 years. Like, we've battered Chelsea, we've battered Spurs, we've battered Man City. Liverpool, we've not really battered, but they were so ahead of us when he came in. We're now level and probably better than them on the pitch, even though we've not shown it this season. Man United have been there for the past 5 years to absolutely smash, and we've not done it. That's the one thing that's missing from Arteta, and I'm sure he knows it as well. Like I said, and the fact that Carrick has one over him at the moment, I don't think he's gonna like that at all.
Hannah Varsel is in the house this evening. Just win. Also, pictures today can be deceptive. I wonder who he is referring to. Dembele has rejoined. I'll bring him in just a second. Danny says the United elimination was more on our players putting clown shoes on rather than shooting boots on. I don't think they played that well. They should have scored the penalty too.
We should have scored the penalty, yeah.
Yeah, we should have. Wally says, fully expecting Carrick to fall into this is Manchester United fallacy by trying to play attacking football and ending up with an RSTL. This is where I am. I think I feel really good about going into Sunday. Really good. I think it's great to see so many of the boys back. I think if Dauman's the only injury issue that we've got, this is what we've been waiting for. And look, United have got that sort of false dawn after beating City. The Manchester derby, it's a big fixture. It was at Old Trafford. They are coming to the Emirates where we are formidable. And I think they're going to get pumped. Can't wait for it. Nathan, welcome to the show. Says 12 wins from showing armpits. Oh, yeah, of course. That would be amazing. Melissa says, I'm not nervous. They're going to turn up, but we're at home and we're rested. Jacques says it will be a tough game. Manchester United always turn up against us. Feels like a close, nervy win. Manny says, is Hand of Arsenal telling us that Calafiori and Nkapie won't be fit? Well, they weren't pictured on the club's collection of training photos today. Maybe that's what he means, but maybe the legend can come back and clarify. Right, let's bring in Yembele. Yembele, you all right, mate? You good?
Oh, my camera just went weird for a second.
Your camera just got bored of what you were saying, mate, to be honest. That's what Wayne's words. Wayne's words, not mine, not mine. Right, before we talk about match lineup, press conference highlights, and predictions, did you guys see this earlier in the week, courtesy of Premier League India, quoted from the Amazon Prime coverage of our game, where Theo Walcott asked one of the most stupid questions to Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney's answer was very firm and says we'd batter them. This was a question around, do you think, Wayne, your boys at the height of their 2007-8 season could take this Arsenal team? Now, Wayne sort of joked it off, and the first thing that came into his head was we'd batter them, and kind of tells you why he's not really a coach, because no team's really battering this Arsenal team. But anyway, let's forget that. What are your thoughts, chaps? Yeah, let's bring you in because you've just rejoined. I mean, you look at that United team, and look, no doubt, top players, 1 through to 11. Maybe not Wes Brown, but that's probably being quite disrespectful. Firepower immense.
Nanny as well, mate. Nanny was not.
Yeah, okay. And you look at the Arsenal team. Jizzle McDizzle just reminded me, whenever FK is confident, Arsenal do a brain fart. That is not true, Jizzle McDizzle.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Do not. Yembele, I have these moments, don't I, where I tell you something's going to happen and it happens. Relax. What do we think? Is this as clear-cut as Wayne Rooney makes it? Yeah?
There's too much context here. I mean, it was a different time and an era. I mean, you're talking about players who relied a lot more on physical power to win games. It's much more technique based. You've got a lot of players who played at their height in this team who were at their peak effectively. You got your Van der Sars, Vidic, Ferdinand were the best there ever. Goals. Ronaldo, on paper, I think it would be the Arsenal team, but that's to say that this team hasn't reached their peak yet. That's the difference. You've got, Rice and Zubimendi, who are just starting this season, who will probably be one of the best midfield partnerships, I think, in the next couple of years. You've got Victor Gyökeres, a brand new striker in. This was a Man United team who literally played at their absolute peak. You've got one of the best midfielders in Paul Scholes, Ronaldo, Tevez, who's one of the best strikers, Wayne Rooney, one of the best strikers. Look, you've got to be realistic and say they would have probably beaten this team. But that's not to say in two to 3 years that this team wouldn't beat them. It's what happens when you get to your peak as a team. This wasn't built. This Man United team wasn't built within a year, and that was it. They took some time to get used to it. So there's a lot of context for me personally around what who would beat who.
Let's do something. Because when I was looking at these two lineups, I thought to myself, if we did a combined 11, I think we'd surprise a lot of people here. I mean, if we go in goalkeepers, who's a better goalkeeper, Van der Sar or David Raya?
I think Van der Sar.
Van der Sar.
Really?
Yeah.
At time, no, but
Van der
again,
Sar was an exceptional shot stopper. I'd say he's a better shot stopper than Raya. But Raya has revolutionized the goalkeeping game.
But he's not a better goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He's a better footballer, and obviously in today's game, Van der Sar would not work. Like it's a bit like Nick Pope.
Raya is an immense shot stopper. I mean, come on, let's not have short memories now. Some of the
but he is for the game today. But that's the game
Golden
today.
Glove record. I mean, yeah, I know it's the game today, yeah, but that's what we're comparing. If you had to pick one team tomorrow for the biggest final you've ever played, are you picking Van der Sar or Raya?
In this era?
Tomorrow, right now.
For the biggest game, I'm picking Van der Sar.
Van der Sar,
I think he's one of the best goalkeepers.
You're kicking Raya all day long.
I think Van der Sar is one of the best goalkeepers we've seen.
I'm not even gonna entertain a Timber or Wes Brown.
No.
That's Wes Brown all day, isn't it?
Now there is something here about Gabby Magalhaes and Saliba or Vidic and Ferdinand. What are you saying?
Give it a year, and I'd say Gabriel and Saliba will be better than Vidic Ferdinand.
Give it a year. What difference does a year make?
More experience, winning trophies, being that extra year. I think the thing is when Ferdinand and Vidic won trophies, it added that extra bit of aura. The aura is there, but it just grows when you say, "Look, these guys have won the title, and it's because they're the meanest defense." That's what Ferdinand and Vidic had at that point.
For me, I think it would be Gabriel and Vidic.
See, I would go Saliba and Rio.
Isn't that interesting?
They're too similar, don't you think? Don't you think they're too similar?
Yeah, they're both ball playing defenders, whereas Gabriel and Vidic are just you wouldn't want to take them on at anything. They just fight you.
I just
one on the right, one on the left. They're just immense.
I don't think you'd ever get past Saliba and Rio. They could do everything.
But they haven't got the fight, mate. Gabriel and Vidic, are you kidding me? They would tear that shirt off your face. Off your face? Yeah.
Your face. Your face.
Yeah, you Vidic would treat the ball like a bomb.
Okay, let's just say one of each in defence, right? So left back, I think Calafiori is probably our best left back. Evra probably gets the nod.
Evra at the moment.
Yeah, probably.
Calafiori again.
Okay, so it's fairly even. I mean, like we've done 5 players and it's really half-half. Middle of the park. Scholes and Carrick. Surely Rice and Scholes. That's your middle.
Rice and Scholes.
I think Scholes is incredibly overrated.
What? No,
yeah, I think
Wayne.
The guy, yeah, he could pass a ball better than anyone. That's it. I
mean, that's a pretty fucking good skill. He can pass the ball better than anyone.
But I
shot
think
from distance.
I think Rice and Carrick can. I think Rice and Carrick together as a partnership.
There's no way you're picking Rice and Carrick over Scholes. No, Wayne, don't do this, man. Come on.
I think Scholes. Scholes has the reputation because he was in a Man United side that won so much.
Glorified Ward-Prowse.
I wouldn't go that far, but I can see the vision. I think Scholes is just so incredibly overrated.
You're getting a lot of love for that take. Wowzers. Well, I would go with Rice and Scholes, but you're saying Rice and... Okay, so Rice gets in over one of these two mugs. Okay.
Yeah.
Nani or... I guess you'd pick Saka because Ronaldo has to go the other side.
Saka
Ronaldo. Yeah, Saka Ronaldo.
Yeah, Saka Ronaldo.
And okay, I mean, up top, you can't really argue Rooney and Tevez. Mate, I tell you what, a combined team is not all one way. That was my point. And I don't think this team would batter this Arsenal team. No one's battering this Arsenal team. They'd fight us. They'd give us a bloody good game. Saka, I think, would rinse Evra. Gyökeres is probably not getting much change out of Vidic and Ferdinand. Trossard would probably get the better of Brown. Rice eats up Carrick. And then you've got Ødegaard and Zubimendi on Scholes. And I think Gabby and Saliba would absolutely shut up shop against Rooney and Tevez. Ronaldo is probably the git that would do something. What a fantasy sort of game. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about serious stuff, okay? Well, there you go. There's the... we'd batter them. A quick thing before we look at lineup and press conference. The image on the right-hand side, ladies and gents, boys and girls, is from that glorious season when we went on that amazing run in the run-in where we were just scoring goals left, right, and centre. And the graphic on the left-hand side is the number of Premier League games that each of these players have gone without scoring a league goal. Gabby Martinelli, no Premier League goals in 13 games. Missed, of course, that chance at Forest. Noni Madueke, yet to register a goal or an assist in the Premier League since he arrived. Bukayo Saka, not a single goal in 8 games. Marino, not a goal in 7 league games. Eza, not a goal in 6 league games. Gyökeres, not a league goal in 5. I think it was Everton, the penalty spot. I mean, it's not looking good. But like we've been saying on this channel, like I've been saying, I think this is proof and reinforcement that we are going to get better as the season goes on. But what is it that we need to do to unlock this attack, Yem?
There's a lot of factors here. We've talked about it as well. Team, it's much harder to win now. a game in the Premier League than ever before. Defenses are low blocking from the get-go. And this is every game now, every team. We expect Man United this weekend to low block us because teams are worried about conceding goals to us. Better quality defenders across the shop. So that's part of the reason. I do think as well there is a disjointed nature to our team, and it's been there for a year and a half almost. Even last year we had the same argument that, we're going to get better, we're going to get better. But that disjoint didn't go. Maybe because of our injury situation, we haven't managed to get that rhythm with all the players. I certainly think a lot of players are off form in terms of in front of goal. You look at Saka, who usually is very efficient in front of goal. That's not happened for him this season. Eze hasn't had as many minutes, so there's a difference there. Martinelli, I think, it seems to look better in the Champions League than the Premier League. Madueke, I think Madueke, we all can acknowledge, has got an issue in front of goal. That's not his biggest strength at the moment. I think there's potential to be one of the better strikers. I think it's kind of like a Sane situation. We keep saying that. I think the biggest problem for me, and this is me personally, and I've said it a number of times, is the creativity in behind with Ødegaard, and to a point, Eze is brand new, has come in, but Ødegaard is struggling to find his place, I think, in the new way that we build up, because you've got Zubimendi, who is the deep-lying playmaker, effectively. But that's a position Martin Ødegaard has occupied. He doesn't seem comfortable occupying the 10 role, which he's supposed to do now. And he keeps coming deep, and then you lose a player in that build-up attack because he's dropped so deep that he can't find his way to goal. Whereas Eze seems to be more comfortable in that 10, but he's not as good as Ødegaard in connecting the midfield and the attack. There's a number of reasons. I think that connectivity between the midfield and the attack is a big struggle at the moment. I think Ødegaard is struggling this season in terms of his numbers. He's created a number of chances, but they're not really big chances. I keep saying this, we're low volume, big chance creators. We're not very good at it at the moment. We seem to get goals from obviously a set play, and then we open up teams. That's what they're looking at, set play to open them up, and then maybe something happens. But this is the big struggle, that we're facing this deep-lying low block that we're struggling with. Any team will struggle with. City struggle with it. But what's happening now is City have moved to a transition-based game. We're not going to do that because Mikel Arteta wants to control the game. But we don't have that enough quality up front or in the wings to create something out of nothing. I don't think we're not really those. We don't create anything out of nothing regularly. We don't take shots from outside the box. Apart from Eze, who else has done it really? It's very concerning in that we are very robotic in our style, and that's partly because obviously Mikel Arteta, that's how he's built the system. We lack that individuality to really have something different. I think there's just a number of problems. I don't think it's going to be solved anytime soon, unfortunately.
Wayne Manny says, shoot more, positive passes, forward play, dribble forward, play on the shoulder with the forward facing body shape rather than back to goal. If I were to ask you a question, both, if I said there was a league table of shots on target in the Premier League this season, where do you think Arsenal rank?
I think we'd probably be like 8th or 9th.
Yeah, higher or lower? You'd be surprised.
Slightly higher, 7th.
Higher?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
JCF says, wow, I'm so late. Evening all. Come on, you Gunners. I'm watching from the start. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Please do drop a like on the video if you are watching. Hannah Varsel says 3rd. He's right. What is this? Is there anything this guy doesn't know? We have the third highest number of shots on target this season. Guess who's top, by the way?
Man United, aren't they?
Yeah. Manchester United, for all their faults and all their criticism, they have the most number of shots on target this season. 125. 16 more than Arsenal, and they are low in the table. Lots of people just guessing random positions now. I don't know which question you're asking, whether United or what, but yeah, we are 3rd. And yeah, but Manny makes a good point. You know, we bought Madueke and Eze for, chance creation, big chance creation, goals, shooting on sight. And, they've gone through quite long spells. The one that concerns me is Bukayo, because he is incredible, has carried this club almost single-handedly towards the end of the Emery days and the beginning of the Arteta days. And no one can ever say anything bad about him, but he's just signed a big boy contract, making him the highest paid player at the club. He can get away with, a half a season out of form. But if we're looking for someone to really turn the handle for us, it is Bukayo. And he's just not having much luck in front of goal at the minute. 8 games in the Premier League without a goal. It's not a good look. Wayne?
I'm not as concerned about those statistics maybe as you are or some other Arsenal fans are. Bukayo especially, simply because I know he can turn it on whenever he wanted to. But most importantly for him this year, he's not really played himself into rhythm. He doesn't play 3 games in a week anymore. He very rarely plays 90 minutes. Out of those 8 games, if I remember correctly, maybe 3 of them are like 20-minute cameos coming off the bench and expecting him to maybe do something. And yeah, you'd love for him to do something in that 20 minutes, but that contributes to the 8-game run there. I think the Noni Madueke one at 13 is a bit unfair because obviously he's not got an official goal or an assist. But if you think back to the Bournemouth game, he was so dangerous that he probably should have got 2 assists on that day. So yeah, you want him as an attacker to score more goals, absolutely. But I think that 13 is a little bit harsh because, and Saka as well, it doesn't tell their overall contribution. In those 8 games, Saka's not really he's had a couple of bad games, like Liverpool was quite poor, for example. But he's been our best attacker in a number of them. I think.
Listen, I before people start throwing pelters or whatever, I am not arguing that Bukayo Saka is neither a good player nor our best attacker. That it goes without saying. We are, of course, nitpicking, and we're just looking at stats that people are all talking about. And in black and white, it would seem that Bukayo Saka is on a bit of a barren run. And listen, United is a fixture that he often shines in, thrives in, and the biggest of games, he is the biggest of players that tends to deliver on that sort of stage. So I don't, for anybody new tuning in for the first time, wondering who the hell are these guys, to sort of criticize Sacks. We don't. We're just, we're talking about it, what everyone's talking about, and we're trying to put our sort of spin on it. But he does need to find the back of the net and fast, as does Martinelli and Madueke and Gyökeres, our main man up top.
Yeah, for sure. And a couple of ways that we can do that is play a bit faster rather than look to build up quick and then pass it back to Saliba, Gabriel, and go through that sort of that method, the method, what's the word? Methodological or whatever the word is, build up play to create a goal. Let's go a little bit quicker, go a little bit more direct. I'm thinking about that Liverpool goal last year or the season before where Ben White played it just over the top.
Yeah,
Saka was chopped inside Robertson, and it's a goal. Let's try to get him there a little bit more. But also, and if you think about Inter Milan, obviously Jesus scored the first goal. Timber's in the box getting that volley in that Jesus scored, and Bukayo Saka's out on the touchline. They in my mind, and it should always be this way with attackers, they should be swapped. If you get Saka closer to goal, if you get Martinelli closer to goal, our wingers in general, they should really be closer than the fullbacks are, in my opinion, anyway. And I think that seeing Ben White, Calafiori when he was fit, Timber as the closest player to the strikers, I'll always feel a little bit uncomfortable with that because I don't think they're players that should be there. You want Saka there, you want Martinelli there, you want Eze there, whoever it might be that's starting the game. So those are a couple of ways that I think that we could unlock our attack. But we have to remember, looking at these numbers, from the 8 down, that also coincides with a period of the season where we've been playing like every 2-3 days consistently. That's going to end after the Kairat game pretty much. I know we've got Chelsea in a midweek game, but we're going to go to a bit more of a regular weekly schedule, and hopefully that will keep things a little bit fresh for our attackers.
Mikey B says, oi, Sunday is the statement. That is the win that I want. That is the win that we all want, and it would be absolutely amazing if Bukayo Saka scored against Manchester United. TF Stevens says, last time Saka scored against United, 2023. Let's wait and see. Nathan says, only 2 players have more than 10 goals in the Premier League. Gosh, Erling Haaland and the chap down at Brentford, presumably.
Thiago.
Can I tell you, let me ask you this question. How many players do you think Arsenal have in the top 30 Premier League goal scorers?
Isn't it only Trossard? We've got one, I think.
Yem, are you going higher or lower? Can't be lower.
Two.
It is actually one.
The Trossard?
Yeah. Leandro Trossard. Not any of our strikers, including Gyökeres, who's played most
not
of
own
the
goal. Not own goal.
Not own goal. Set piece is obviously not a goal scorer. We have one person in the top 30 Premier League goal scorers as of the BBC website.
We're top. I mean, again, we're top with that kind of stat. It's crazy, isn't it?
Do you know what? I was listening to the Arscast today. Fabulous podcast that Blogs does. And there was a moment of realization when Gunner Blog was on the mic and he was saying, Andrew, we haven't had that many shots on goal. We don't have many goal scorers in the top 30. Own goal and set piece is how we sort of got it. None of our strikers have sort of double figures. How are we even top? What voodoo is Mikel Arteta doing that is getting us this gap? It's remarkable if you think about it. Honestly, we haven't even got motoring. And, I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, match reaction videos, late night lounges, I think we have got gears, levels to go up. We have a super chat. Thank you so much, Ali Diri 2835, for your generous donation to the channel. It means a lot. It says Saka misses playing with Havertz. Gyökeres overall play isn't helping him, if we're honest. Also, not an excuse. I do think there is a case there for some sort of familiarity. Bukayo Saka used to have Ben White behind him, and that relationship was phenomenal. He spent some time playing with Ødegaard and Havertz in that sort of attack. But it's all changed now. He's had Timber behind him. He's been in and out of fitness, of course, that horrific hamstring injury that Anne of Arsenal mentioned earlier. Victor Gyökeres has come in and the sort of link-up connection, familiarity just isn't quite there. So, yeah, big second half of the season to come for Arsenal. That familiarity, that fluidity, that they've just got to click. But thank you so much, Ali, for your super chat. Franklin says it's the tactics. Sam's just saying, Trossard, my goat. He has been really good this season. Arteta's haram ball, says Asif874. Right, let's move on to the game that awaits for us this Sunday. So, first of all, breaking news. Ricky Calafiori and Piero Hincapié are now back in training. Max Daumann, I believe, the only player not to be fit. Hannah Arsenal, if you're still watching, please do confirm. Give us any sort of news if you can. He says, actually, people are expecting prime Barca ball, whereas Arteta is just win mode. Get used to it. I like it, HOA. Let me know, Hannah Arsenal, what's happening? Are you expecting Calafiori and Hincapié to be on the bench on Sunday? Just share an emoji if that's true. Let's, before we get your thoughts on lineup, chaps, let's just recap some of the highlights of Mikel Arteta's press conference today. So on the team news, he talked about saying, well, look, we still got another training session. That'll be tomorrow. We will see on the return of Piero Hincapié and Ricky Calafiori. There were no other issues to be reported after the Inter Milan game. He then says that man-to-man football is now dominating much more in Europe. It's very, very different in the Premier League compared to the Champions League, which is why Arsenal seem to be a bit more relaxed in the Champions League. He was asked about options up front. He said, Victor Gyökeres, Gabi Jesus, Kai Havertz, we are waiting for that with the amount of games coming up. They're all going to have opportunities and minutes, and it's so great to have them back, especially to have them in good form. Lots of stories going around about Kai Havertz's rehab, but we'll come on to that maybe in just a moment. He declared Havertz is very close to returning to the first team. Said that we've got to be really smart in the way that we sort of manage Kai and manage his minutes and his return. Talked about Ethan Nwaneri, which we've obviously not talked about, chaps. It says, look, we've got to constantly monitor our young players. Ethan wasn't having enough minutes, and the last thing that he wanted to do was to cut his development because he's such a talent and he loves and breathes football. So we decided that the best thing to do was to send him to go and play regular football, and we have to pick the right place, and Olympique Marseille under De Zerbi was what we picked. Also, William Saliba was there, of course. So that was a good experience for him, and that hasn't turned out too bad. Pep Guardiola's been talking about Arsenal being the best team, and Arteta was asked about that. He said, look, I don't know. I think we are the team that wants to be consistently better. We are doing a lot of things right, but we're far from perfect. and our only aim is to sustain the level that we are doing and to keep trying to improve again and again. He really is Arteta's, Wenger's son. He talked about Bukayo Saka's drought. He said he wants Bukayo Saka scoring and assisting in every game, and that is the aim of the level that he sort of wants to be at. And then he closed by talking about Michael Carrick's Manchester United, saying, look, he's going to bring fresh ideas. The intensity is going to rise up. You could see that in the Manchester derby, in the way and the behavior of the players on the pitch. We expect a tough match. So, look, I've captured your thoughts on what's going to happen, what's going on. All right. Hand of Arsenal says, Calafiori did not complete the session today.
Yeah, but look further down.
Look further down. Slow integration. He says, why, what else is coming up? What have I missed?
Walid.
Where's Wally?
Walid Spur. Really good
guy? Where is he? What's his handle?
Python? Walid _Arsenal.
Oh, hang on a second. Hang on, there was another Walid. Is that... Did I call someone else Walid? Anyway. Right, Walid _Arsenal says, Calafiori didn't need to finish the session. Heard he was so good and ready to go. They said he could go home. I love that. Hopefully Kai Havertz is fine. Cyrus, welcome to the show. Great to have you in the chat, my friend. You've been so generous to the firm over the last couple of weeks. I love you tuning in, man. Thank you so much for your generosity. Once again, says I'd start Marino in this game. More height against that United lineup. Right, let's talk about the lineup. This, courtesy of Now _Arsenal, was our lineup against Inter Milan. 7 changes from the game that we had against Nottingham Forest. So, chaps, the question is, what are we doing? As I just bring up a picture of Ebbs, because I thought he played really well and it was nice to see him start. So, goalkeeper David Raya, all unanimously agreed on that. Chat, let me know your starting 11s, what changes you would make. I'll bring up as many comments as I can. What are we doing across the back four? Presumably Saliba, Gabriel, fullbacks.
Timber and White.
So Timber left back, White right back. White, of course, coming on as a sub. You wouldn't play Lewis Kelly, no?
Not against
Amad Diallo.
No, he doesn't do well. He's struggling with pace.
Would you play Mosquera maybe at right back?
No. I don't think you could play Timber at left back in this game. I really don't.
You don't have many
It
options.
hinders us. It hinders us
man.
too much going forward. I think if one of the two can play, and I'm probably leaning maybe more towards Hincapié because he was out for less time than Calafiori, then I'd probably go with him.
Would you go half fit?
Is Calafiori? Is Hincapié good against a pacey? I mean, Amad's a pace merchant, speed merchant.
Yeah, he would be able to take that on better than Lewis Kelly would anyway.
No, I'd go Lewis, man. I thought Miles played all right. No?
He played all right.
Hand of Arsenal says Miles, left back.
It's pace. The problem is against pace, he's struggling quite badly.
But you forget Miles Lewis Kelly is so hard to beat 1v1.
Not this year.
Okay, well, you both say that with such conviction. Alion says Timber is awkward at left back, but you can't trust MLS yet. Chrome says it has to be Timber left back. Okay, well, let's go with the majority. So Ben White right back, Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber left back. What are you doing in midfield?
Mendy, Rice, Ødegaard.
Whoa. Ødegaard, straight in. Not even a conversation to be had.
He was rested completely.
Yeah, he's coming straight back in. There's no point in discussing.
You don't drop. The captain won't be dropped. As much as we don't like it.
Can we just end the show? Why are we even wasting our time?
Oh, no, let's just end the Ødegaard conversation. He's playing, he's starting, he's captaining, he's finishing the game. Unless we're
dropping deep. He's dropping deep.
He's dropping deep. He's building up from centre backs. He'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, he's captain of this football club. There's no way he's missing Sunday's game, is it? It's going to be Ødegaard, right?
Unless his baby keeps him up.
What do we do with Eza? Huh?
Unless his baby keeps him up again. And goes back to those days of last year where he was...
Okay, well, look, let's go with Rice, Zubi, and Ødegaard. Saka, presumably, definitely right wing. Surprised he played. I mean, Madueke surely was the option on Wednesday, but Saka played. Trossard, Eza, or Martinelli on the left-hand side for you?
Trossard's been out of form recently.
He has.
By comparison to like the last few weeks, but he's still He's still probably the best for this game.
They will low block. They're gonna low block us and try and counter attack. Trossard's your best option to try and do something different.
Would you want Trossard off the bench though, Yem?
No,
Would you maybe want Martinelli to start to run at them and then
tire them out?
I think Trossard could have a field day against Dalot. I think he could really destroy.
Because Dallow's probably one of their better players, but he's still crap. But
Martinelli against Dalot is Martinelli, with all due respect, is too predictable. Dalot will easily deal with that because it's pace, but Trossard picks up different spaces, and Dalot does not like to move around as much.
Could you go Ezra at left wing?
No,
you could. Arteta won't.
Yeah, because
would you?
That Villa game, the Villa game stuck in his mind. He doesn't trust him, and he still doesn't trust him in terms of tracking back.
Can you not stop sending each other nudes and just say it out? Yeah. If you got something to say, share it with the group. Do you remember the teacher you always should tell us that? Yeah. If you got something to say it loud to the group, Faisal. Let's not forget how brutal Saka versus Luke Shaw has always been. That is the truth. Whoa, it's getting spicy now. Wallet, check DMs. I expect my pictures as well, please, Hannah Varsel in the chat later on. Okay, so we are going with Trossard. I think we all agree on that. I think we're going with Saka, who is playing up top. Jesus with 2 in midweek, his first Champions League goal in more than 2 years. And Victor Gyökeres with an absolute Glockeres banger.
Gyökeres.
No, but the reason is Gabby Jesus is not ready for 2 games a week.
It's because you fancy him, and it's because he's going to bang 3 goals on Sunday, mate.
Listen, him versus Little Sandro. If he can't get the better of him, then
Maguire. This is Maguire. Maguire is going to be on him all day. You know.
Whoa! This is strange. Everyone would start Jesus. Franklin says Jesus. V Vlad says start Jesus. Manny says Jesus. Oh, hang on. Hassa says Gyok. Cyrus says Marino. Another couple of shouts. Jesus says Chrome. Jesus says Nathan. Wowzers.
Yeah, this is the thing. No, and the last comment is the best one. Jacques one's the best one.
Yeah.
The facts don't lie. Gyökeres is better for the press than Jesus. Jesus, physically, look, he got 2 goals in the week, but physically, I think we can all acknowledge he's got problems.
Well, Franklin says, Gabby Jesus played on Tuesday. Kickoff is late on a Sunday.
I'm talking about Jesus of old, and I know it's a bad comparison, but would get across the field quicker. He looks so slow when he's running. It's a double ACL. I wasn't expecting anything else, but Gyökeres will do better at stretching the United defence and occupying them. What we need is those wingers to start feeding him a little bit better. Saka particularly, because Saka gets in good positions, but doesn't look for Gyökeres enough. They need to look up a bit better, and obviously Ødegaard needs to actually start passing vertically rather than side to side.
Now, I don't think he is, but Cyrus says, what if Havertz is fit to start?
No, we already know that there's a concern over him, isn't there, already?
Even if there isn't, it's been a year. He could be fit to start. He's not match ready.
He's not match ready. And you don't do it in this kind of game.
Okay, well, look, while I asked the chat and they've already flown out the blocks with their predictions, where do you think the game's going to be won or lost, boys? And what do you think the score is going to be? Yem, let's start with you.
I think United are going to do what we all know they will do, which is low block and counter attack. And Mbeumo will go up front to provide that false 9 with pace. If we can control the ball again, we will kill them off. But the problem is that on the transition, they are super dangerous. Fernandes is one of the best at finding players on the transition. So we have to, I hate it, but we're going to have to strangle this game and just kill them off in that way. If we can do that, then I think we need to get that first goal to really stifle and break them, if we call it that. I still think they will score a goal because the facts don't lie. They are, they're shooting on goal. I think it's going to be a 3-1 to Arsenal.
I've just noticed a friend of mine, Robin. Good to see you over dinner, buddy. He says, I've subbed reluctantly, and he's confirmed it's Robin. It was great to have dinner with you, man, and spend time with you. But of course, nice to see you in the Arsenal chat. This is really surreal. We were talking about the YouTube channel. It's I blame my wife. Robin, hope you had a safe journey home. Thanks for bringing my family home as well. Okay, 3-1 for Yembele. Wayne, what are you saying? Where is the game going to be won or lost tomorrow? And give me your predictions as I bring some up on screen.
It's going to be won by a set piece. It's going to be 1-0.
No way.
Really? No
1-0.
way.
Yeah.
No way will
It's
that
going to be
happen.
1-0. We'll get a header from a corner. We'll shut up shop, and it's on to the next one.
Okay, we take that. Hassa says 4-1 to Arsenal. Numfish says 3-1, comfy win. Danny, come on.
Mate,
It's not going to happen.
while
7-1,
he's
he
doing
says.
it, while he's doing it again as well.
Is it? Chris Hodgson says 2-0. Cyrus says 3-0. Alex, welcome to the show, says 2-0 to the Arsenal. Jonathan reckons 2-1. I do love it when people say the scorer names as well. I can't get over that. Sackett and Trossard to get the goals. Rob says 2-1 to the Arsenal. Chrome saying 2-0. I'd love a clean sheet. I'm not going to lie. Ash says 3-1 to the Arsenal. V Vlad says 3-2. Can't be having a 3-2 game. Come on, man. I ain't got time for that. This is what I'm talking about. Wally. 4-0. Magalesh Hattie. Hannah Varsel says 2-0 to the Arsenal. So that's probably a scoreline to get behind. Trevor has also gone for a 3-2. I don't think I could take that. Lucio de Brazil says 2-1. Jacques says a nervy 2-0 or a 3-1. Cardiac Cat says it's a game for the dark arts. 3-1 to the Arsenal.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, 3-1, yeah. 1-0 to the Arsenal, says Jamie. Bukayo Saka, up the gun, as he says. Michael Daly says 2-1. Gyökeres. And Erdegaard, I would love Gyök to score. Okay, look, here's where I am. I was confident going into the game. I feel we have the bit between our teeth. We're at home. It is a chance for Arteta to get one over Michael Carrick, because I'm sure that hurts, like you said earlier, Yembele.
Wait.
And I think we are going... Sorry?
I said it, not him. It's all right.
Sorry. You're both the same. If we score early, yeah, 3-0. Yeah,
we've got to control the
4-1.
game. We have to control the game. We cannot allow United
We will
to
control the game. We will.
No, but they're going to low block and just try to.
I know he looks dead, doesn't he? Wait till he starts.
I've had a double kebab roll.
This guy has not been to an office in 30 years. And the guy's starting a new job where he's got to go in at least 3 days a week next week. Mate, you ain't going to be in rush hour 3. What else is happening here? Christoph says, currently listening live while on a plane from Cancun to New York City. Going from sunny beaches to below freezing and a foot of snow this weekend. Come on, Arsenal. Bring some heat to keep me warm. What an incredible message. We are truly global. The man is on a plane, listening to Latte Firm while he's traveling. That just makes my heart so warm. I think we're going to leave it there, ladies and gents, boys and girls. That's been a really, really fun show. Thank you, chaps. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you're tuning in for the first time and you've enjoyed the content, why not subscribe like Robin did earlier? Reluctantly so, but he's not an Arsenal fan, to be fair. But do subscribe, set your notifications on so you don't miss the show. But if you are late, you can watch it on demand. You can, of course, catch it on audio platforms like Apple and Spotify. And if you're listening there, thank you so much. And please do leave us a very kind rating. And if you like ad-free content and you want to support the channel for the price of a coffee a month, get involved at patreon.com/lattefirm, where you can get ad-free content. All of our channel members also get ad-free content. Hannah Varsel says, do you watch The Traitors? I do. This is the one season that I've not watched any of it yet, because I will start watching it with my daughter from tomorrow. We are very excited about it. Thank you for all the kind comments.
My daughter watched today.
Does he watch The Traitors? Does he watch?
He lives
it. He is The Traitors.
Faithful. I've always been a faithful. What are we talking about? About, boys. Look at his face. How can I be a traitor? Come on.
Do we have any update on our winners?
Yeah, we do. So the print, I've got these hard envelopes, A4 sort of hard-backed envelopes. I just need to send them. 2 of them live in Switzerland. It's crazy. Nice. And 3 of them happen to be named Tom, like their real names. So, yes, and Jamil got in touch with me as well about the vouchers. Jamil, I'm just waiting for you to email me. I noticed you've not been in the chat tonight, so do email me and you will get your Arsenal vouchers. Thank you so much for
the winner of the mug get back to us.
Yes. It is all under control. Put it that way. I will ask for photos as and when they receive them. Thank you, everybody. Oshin says, I want to buy a mug. Yes, I promise I'll get to it. I promise. There we have it. Ladies and gents, if you want to follow, in fact, you guys do it. Yembele, where can people find you? Because you've been podcasting this week as well.
Yeah, we had a new one out today, but you can find me at EdVerge59, but you can also check out my podcast at Red Lines and Half Space. We dropped a new one today. Do please have a listen, subscribe on all the good podcast platforms and YouTube if you get the chance.
What? No TNT analyst? You can find me on a Saturday morning on TNT.
Amazon, mate. I'm going bigger. Prime, baby. prime, baby.
Oh, the year that they've lost the rights. That makes sense.
No.
They're showing games on Amazon Prime. I swear Champions League was on Amazon this week.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only games that they've got now.
No, I'm going Paramount. Paramount, sorry. We've got to call Paramount. Give Paramount a call.
How about you, Wayne? Where can people find you?
Wayne's World 20_ on X, because unfortunately FK won't pay for the Wayne's World 20 to give up the original Twitter handle, so I do have to have the underscore that he hates so much. You can hear me on the Can You Believe It podcast, named after Kanu, obviously one of our great players. Can You Believe It, with our good friend Matt.
Indeed. There you go. Please do go and follow both of these chaps. Either of these chaps, that would be great. Good night to all. Happy hate watches. Rob is in the house. Says, FK, you'll do a match reaction Sunday. Of course. In fact, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m, Alice Talks Footy will join me to look ahead to the Manchester United game. She came on for the very first fixture that we had this season. She is fantastic. Her channel is amazing. Do join us for that tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. I'm just about to schedule the show and make the slides. Sunday after the game, doesn't matter how late it will be on that Sunday night, we will do a match reaction video to look back at whatever happens at the Emirates. So that is it. That is the end of tonight's show. It is Manchester United on Sunday to come to the Emirates. Football heritage, a rivalry reignited. Take care, sleep well. Bye for now.